Hello, my name is Mark Tredenick. I'm a poet who lives and writes in Gundungurra country along the Wingecarribee River, southwest of Sydney. We call it Bowral. I want to share some thoughts with you about love and poetry. This is part of the Vessels of Love program for Poetry Sydney. So what do I think of love? I was the editor some years back of a collection of Australian love poems, and in the introduction I found myself saying that the more one thinks about love, the less like love it seems. But still, let's have a go. I want to say from the outset that any poem decently written is a love poem, really, or ought to be, because it will be a vessel of love, an expression of profound affection for language and for humanity, for all of us and each of us, the self and the other, for the world that we find ourselves living in and the gift of our life. So whatever it's about, a poem really is some kind of a love poem. But some thoughts about love. I have a feeling that love is a kind of closing down of the distances that otherwise separate us, the self from the other, the lover from the beloved, the parent from the child, the human from the world, and to gathering up of distances and the finding of a hearth for them. That's what love is. That's what poetry tries every time, I think, in my case, to practice. So love, I guess, if I were attempting some kind of a definition, is a profound kind of generosity, a radical and uncompromising kindness, an attitude of profound, immaculate affection in general for what the body loves, for the life one has, for the life one hasn't, for all things, and for language. Prose and other dominant discourses have a way of foreclosing, of shutting down our relationship with all that we know and all that we don't know. Poetry, like love, has a gift for keeping the heart open, the broken heart open, and finding, practicing, seeking to articulate a deep connection to things that aren't reducible to just the self. I tell you what love isn't. Love isn't a theory. Love isn't politics. Love isn't a play. It's not a ploy. It's not a trade. It's not a deal. It's not even really a prayer. It's not even really an answer, but it is a question you live about: how can I make my time with you on earth beautiful? How can I be of use? How can I help? Love, of course, sometimes in an intimate connection wants to be practiced in a kind of embodied oneness with the other. We call that sex, and sex is very beautiful, and it's one of the ways that love is practiced. But love isn't just sex, and sex isn't always love. Poetry nearly always is love, though. And here's one particular poem from me, a very recent piece of work called The Godwit Shores. It's for my beloved Jodie on her birthday. All you need to know is that the godwit is a bird that every 6 months flies all the way from Siberia to places including the south coast of New South Wales, and every other 6 months it flies back again. It's a humble but beautiful bird that practices a profound kind of connection to the wide world. The Godwit Shores for Jodie. I don't mind the rain at all, you said. A small articulation of how it is you've learned to live so well. There's nothing much you don't know how to weather and discover how in time to practice care upon. Like these birds who fly the bright and quiet news of you on seasonal loops around the earth, a miracle lost on all but the few who look, but also see. Among 3 generations of us lost to all that matters except ourselves. You walk a light-footed electricity of hope. Across the tidal flats you fathom a feast from unpropitious shores, and you fly when you're ready, a flight of immaculate affection. For where you find yourself and where you'll likely find yourself next. Some father place, some sedgeland, some selvage, some steppe. And this year, for your birthday, the heavens chose to pour where last time they'd shone. And you found no less joy in that. Happiness is what happens, and how you practice that with love. This is what your life tells. It's art, the same art as these shores. Thank you.